Silverstein. Act 1, Scene 1. Lights up on Carrie, seated on an air mattress. The room she is in is cluttered with boxes. She is unpacking. Regan enters.
Hey.
Looking up from a large box of magazines.
Hey. Getting kind of late. I was wondering if maybe you wanted to join me down at Red's for a late night snack?
No, thank you. I still have a lot of unpacking to do.
Oh, that's cool. Perhaps another time.
Noticing a large statue in the far corner of the room.
What in the name of all things good and holy is that?
Looking in the direction of Regan pointing.
Oh, you mean my pinhead statue?
Is that going to be living with us in this room?
Yes, I know he's a bit large, but I can assure you that if we keep him in the corner, we'll be less likely to bump into him.
Regaining her composure.
Just have to make sure to sleep with my back facing this part of the room.
Why?
So that I don't end up making eye contact with him in the middle of the night. Do you want me to pick anything up for you while I'm at the diner?
Maybe a small thing of fries?
Good choice. They have the best fries in Pasadena.
Good to know for future reference.
Yep.
Turning to leave.
Oh, before I forget, I wanted to ask you if it's okay if Jason stays over tomorrow night.
That's your brother, right?
You remember him, don't you? Gawky kid with a slight overbite. He helped me move into our dorm freshman year.
Oh, yeah, I remember him. He cried as he was hugging you goodbye.
Yep, that's him.
How is he?
The same, really, just living the dream like the rest of us.
Preach, girl.
Stalling by the doorway.
You sure you don't want to come? Eating by yourself is lame.
If I didn't have 50 million boxes to unpack, I would. Sorry.
It's fine.
No, it's not fine.
Getting excited.
Does that mean you're coming?
No, but I know when you're lying. Here, I have a better idea. Instead of you sulking at Red's because your old college roommate turned new apartment roommate is too busy unpacking a lifetime's worth of shit to eat a late night snack with you, how about we order some pizza in from Domino's?
Ooh, that's a fabulous idea. You know what's even better? There's this dingy little family-owned place 2 blocks down. They make the best pizza on the planet.
Sounds perfect.
And they even let you order online. I'll grab my laptop.
She exits, waiting until Regan is out of hearing distance.
Dear God, give me strength.
Regan returns carrying a large black laptop.
I got the site up and ready to go. What would you like on it?
Pepperoni?
Come on, girl. Be original. Think of something creative. They offer practically every topping you could ever think of.
Bacon?
Come on, you're a writer. Aren't you supposed to have an overflowing wealth of imagination or something?
Trust me. I could write you a whole novel based on ordering a pizza, okay? I just don't want to get something that you're not going to like.
Dude, we were college roommates. I understand that we haven't had much time to see each other over the last few years, but not that much has changed. We're still the same people we were 6 years ago. You don't have to worry about being cautious around me.
Fine. We should get a pizza with banana peppers and Italian sausage.
That sounds like vomit.
Trying not to lose it.
What do you suggest?
Green peppers and ground beef.
Sounds perfect to me.
Really? You're not just saying that.
I'm not just saying that.
Awesome!
Regan types away on her laptop,
All right, our order is now being processed.
Cool?
resuming her unpacking. Sitting on her bed, staring intently at Carrie.
So?
You need any help?
Looking up from the box of magazines.
If you wouldn't mind starting on the box of my DVDs, that'd be helpful.
I'm right on it.
Leaping up from her bed.
Which box is that?
The large crate behind Pinhead.
Of course, it's behind me.
Regan musters up the courage to venture into the corner where Pinhead is residing. She lunges forward, grabs the boxes, and runs back to the comfort and safety of her bed, staring at Regan.
Are you really that terrified of him?
Yes.
Why? It's not even that scary.
I don't know if you've noticed, but he has pins coming out of his head.
His name, Pinhead.
Can we put a lampshade over him or something?
Why?
To cover the pins?
Stop being a child.
I'm not being a child. I'm being a fraidy cat. There's a huge difference.
You'll get used to him.
No, I won't.
Would it help if we watched the movie he's from?
No.
Why not?
Because that'll give me even more nightmares.
There's no happy medium, is there?
I'm afraid not.
Well, what would you like me to do? Sell them on eBay?
That's a great idea. Has anyone ever told you you're so smart?
Losing her cool.
Has anyone ever told you that you're insensitive? What if someone told you to sell one of your Britney posters because it freaked them out? Or what if you were told to sell one of your prized tank tops because it gave someone nightmares? Those things are not only
up together.
Sorry. I didn't mean for that to come out that way.
Well, what way did you mean for it to come out?
I don't know. If you haven't noticed, I'm a little more high-strung than usual.
A little? Sweetie, a clothesline isn't as high and tight as you are right now.
The breakup wound is still a little fresh.
But you broke up with him.
Oh, so that doesn't mean I can hurt too? Only the person who gets broken up with has the right to be upset and spend their days crying over a relationship that lasted longer than any of Taylor Swift's last 5? I see how it is.
Carrie collapses onto her air mattress, knocking the box she was unpacking on the floor. A beat later, the air mattress begins to deflate.
Damn it!
Tiptoeing gently over to Carrie,
Cheer up, Buttercup.
picking herself up off the deflated air mattress.
I'm sorry. I'm not normally like this. If I have a problem, I write it down in my journal or I write a quick poem about it. I've just been so out of it since I left Freddy. Every day I look at my phone and think, perhaps I'll call him today and tell him that it was all a big mistake. I didn't mean it when I said I felt suffocated. In fact, I love writing his column for him and not receiving any credit. And on top of that, I love being treated like a second-class citizen in my own apartment. And then I think back on what I just said to myself. Freddy was a great guy at first. I mean, yeah, I never really took our relationship seriously back at Berkeley, but he did. He treated me like a queen, but as my mother always told me, you don't know a person until you live with them. Moving in with Freddy was both the best and worst decision of my life. I'm glad I did it, but at the same time, I wish I could get the last 2 years of my life back.
I know, honey.
Sitting down next to Carrie.
I wish I could do more for you. But all I can really do is offer you a shoulder to cry on and some non-alcoholic imitation Belgian beer to ease your pain.
Why non-alcoholic?
Regular beer is too many calories.
You're aware they make light beer, right?
I know.
Thanks for your understanding, and thanks for letting me crash here for a while. My mom's house is just way too crowded.
Anything for my old college bestie. Do you think you could do something for me, bestie?
What?
Please sell Mr. Pinhead.
Okay. How about we have a garage sale this weekend? I'll put out a bunch of my crap that I don't want, and you can do the same.
Really? You're sure you're okay partying with him?
No, but if it means that you'll continue to let me stay here on a sliding scale rent until I can save up enough money to move into my very own condo, then I'm all for it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else you'd like me to sell?
Looking around the room.
How about that poster you put up in front of the bathroom door?
My autographed limited edition Fright Night poster?
It's creepy looking.
It's a poster for one of the most visually stunning vampire films of the 1980s. Of course it looks creepy.
You're right, my apologies.
How are we going to survive living together?
Getting up.
I mean, we barely survived freshman year, remember? We had to get the RA to hold weekly peace agreement talks with us.
That was only during our first semester as roommates. During the spring, things got a lot better.
Yeah, we cut our RA meetings down to twice a month.
Hey, don't knock it. That was progress. But you're only remembering the bad stuff. We had a lot of fun together, too. Remember our Halloween party in the lounge?
Yeah, no one showed up but us.
Even though we lined every women's bathroom with flyers.
And even a few of the men's.
And when we decided to TP Professor Jeffrey's car.
That was all on you. I was the one that told you you'd get caught.
I know. But it was fun anyway. Look, just because we're different doesn't mean we can't get along.
Pretending to agree with Regan.
You have a point. I guess I'm just a pessimist.
You always were.
Regan's cell phone rings from off stage.
Ooh, that's our pizza. I'll be right back.
Take your time.
Regan exits. Carrie moves to the corner of the room where Pinhead is standing.
I forgot to tell her about your motion sensor setting. Oh well.
Carrie reaches down to the base of the statue. She flicks a switch. After she stands up, she begins to jump around in front of the statue. It begins to move along with her. Carrie laughs manically. Blackout. Act 1, Scene 2. Lights up on Jason, sitting in Carrie and Regan's living room. He's lying on the couch. Carrie enters carrying her notebook.
Good morning.
Going to the couch, extending the hand to Jason,
I'm Carrie, your sister's new roommate.
staring intently at the TV.
I know, she told me.
Sitting down next to Jason.
What are you watching?
Scream Channel, they got the third Hostel on right now.
What do you think of it?
It's crap, but it's better than a lot of the other stuff that's on TV right now.
I couldn't agree with you more.
Looking at Carrie for the first time.
You a horror fan?
Yep. I'm assuming you are as well.
Damn straight.
May I question.
Sure.
Do you watch Scream regularly?
It depends. Sometimes they have really cool movies available, but most of the time all they air is B-list paranormal garbage. Ultimately, it depends on whether or not I'm in the mood for real horror or a bunch of overproduced craptastic masterpieces.
Thanks.
Why'd you ask me that?
Writing in her notebook.
No reason.
Do you like work for Scream Channel or something?
Maybe.
There's no reason to be secretive, unless your boss will murder you if you reveal your employee.
I just felt like messing with you. I do, in fact, work for Scream.
That's really cool.
From time to time, it can be. Most of the time, it's just tedious amounts of paperwork.
So what do you do for them?
I'm a programming assistant.
What does that mean?
I aid the programming execs in acquiring rights for different movies. I'm one of 15 grunts. We spend our days mulling about the office doing things the higher-ups wouldn't dare to do.
That sounds kind of prestigious.
It's not. All I do is make phone calls and send emails for two dunderheads with about as much imagination as a rabid squirrel with a sickening hangover.
That's a really specific metaphor.
It's what I do.
So, if you hate your job so much, why don't you just quit?
I can't. I'm lucky enough to have a job like this. It doesn't require many skills. On occasion, I get to partake in something horror-related, like attending a premiere of a new Sealish straight-to-digital download thriller. It's not the greatest job in the world, but it provides me with money and a chance to be around my favorite genre of movies. As far as first jobs go, things could be a lot worse. What do you do?
I'm an actor.
That's cool. Have you been in anything big?
I just recently booked a national commercial campaign for Friskies.
That's nice.
You sound like my sister.
I'm sorry. I guess it's a pretty big deal.
I know it may not seem that impressive to you, but to a struggling actor, a national commercial campaign not only provides exposure, but it pays well. And I'm talking a weeks-long vacation to Reno kind of well. Once I get that check, I'm going to be able to breathe for the next few months. That is, until the money runs out and I have to start the process all over again.
A never-ending struggle of making it big.
Exactly.
If you're ever in need of a job, I can always see if our internship coordinator needs anyone. We don't offer paid internships, but it's a great way to learn some basic job skills so you can get hired somewhere else.
I thought you didn't like working for Scream.
I'm a writer. My ideal job would consist of me sitting at a firm but comfortable desk, sipping ice-cold water from a glass while typing away at a top-of-the-line laptop. Sadly, you need money to be able to support a dream like that, so until I have enough saved to be able to live off writing alone, I'm stuck getting paid an hourly wage to act as a lackey for the programming directors. Just because I'm unhappy with my position in the company doesn't mean that you wouldn't be satisfied working there. It's a great network run by an easygoing group of individuals. It's just unfortunate that they don't know a thing about the horror industry.
Regan enters wearing a shower wrap. Her hair is pinned up in a sopping wet bun.
I see you two have taken some time to get reacquainted with each other.
Yeah, we were just talking about how I'm going to be the new Scream Channel intern.
Looking at Carrie.
Really? Carrie has the kind of power to hire interns?
Nothing's definite. I was just telling Jason that if he ever wants to work at Scream, I can see if our internship coordinator is hiring new interns.
Interesting. Well, if you don't mind me, I'm going to head out to the mini mart next door. Anyone want anything?
A can of Red Bull, please.
You want me to buy you only one can? You're aware that this 4-pack is cheaper, right?
Fine then, a 4-pack of Red Bull, please.
Do you want anything, Carrie?
Good.
Observing Regan's outfit.
May I ask you a question?
Sure.
Are you going outside in just what you're wearing right now?
Yeah, why? It looks exactly like a dress. No one will know that I don't have anything on underneath.
I'm pretty sure that violates every single health code imaginable, but if it makes you happy, then be my guest.
Am I sensing some roommate tension?
Just the same roommate tension that's always existed between us.
Carrie, what did I say to you this morning?
To not start anything while your brother's here hanging out with us.
Exactly. So could you please not disclose any more information about the roommate issues we keep bumping into?
I'm sorry, it just slipped out. Can we blame it on my recent attitude change due to my breakup with Freddy?
That makes you feel better.
It does.
Good. Anyway, I'm headed out. I should be back in 5 minutes.
See ya.
Regan exits. Picking up the remote, flipping through the channels.
What was that all about?
What was what all about?
That really awkward fight you just had. Didn't really make much sense.
Welcome to my newfound reality.
Do you secretly hate my sister or something?
Not necessarily. She's cool and everything, but there are certain aspects of her personality that I just can't stand.
Looking at Carrie.
Join the club.
Don't say that.
Why?
You're supposed to have a somewhat strained relationship with her. You're her younger brother. My sisters and I always fought growing up. We didn't really mean the things we said. We didn't really hate each other's dates or taste in music or clothes. We just said those things for the pure joy of getting on each other's nerves. That's the type of relationship all siblings have. Regan and I just don't really fit well together.
Then why'd you ask to move in with her?
Desperation, mostly. After I first broke up with Freddy, I moved back in with my mom in Anaheim. I love my mom to death, and it was really great having her make me breakfast every morning before I left for work, but my 2 youngest sisters are still living there. In addition, before I showed back up, my mom had asked her new boyfriend to move in. If you haven't done the math, that's 5 people living under one roof.
So, don't you come from a large family?
Still, do you know how frustrating it is to try to write a fun, imaginative short story when you have 5 voices simultaneously screaming at full volume?
Nope.
Let me break it down for you. It's near impossible to create identifiable metaphors when you can barely hear yourself think.
And you thought moving in with my loudmouth sister would be a better alternative?
Dude, trust me. Your sister is a mime compared with my loud-ass band of hooligans.
So, putting up with Regan crying over reruns of The Bachelor at 3 in the morning and dancing around in her underwear to NSYNC is better than living in a house full of people shouting?
Correct.
I take the people screaming any day. I have this really great ability to tune out voices whenever I feel like it. Can I say something else?
Sure, I'm an open book.
Is Freddy the guy my sister fixed you up with your freshman year of college?
How do you know so much about me?
My sister has this really annoying habit of calling me up at random points and spilling every detail of her life. She still hasn't gotten, after 6 years and curious about something, I'll ask her about it myself. She doesn't need to tell me every fucking thing.
She does have a tendency to spill more details than any person ever wants to hear.
I know. What if we make some sort of pill for that?
God, I wish. And to answer your question, yes. Freddy is the guy your sister fixed me up with.
You were with him for a really long time.
Sort of. We broke up a few times during college, but somehow we always found our way back to each other.
So is this another temporary break, or are you going through for good?
Hopefully for good.
What do you mean by hopefully?
I don't know. It's like I have this kind of addiction to him. No matter how much he infuriates me or how belittled I feel by his actions, I just can't keep myself away from him.
Becoming concerned.
So it's an abusive relationship?
No, he's never laid a hand on me.
Abuse can be verbal too, you know.
Maybe it's a little of that. I don't know.
You said you feel belittled by his actions. I don't know much about relationships, but I do know a little something from being an avid watcher of crime dramas. If a guy's treating you in a very poor manner and talking down to you like you don't really matter, then he's probably verbally abusing you.
That's really insightful.
TV's a lot more educational than people give it credit for.
So, what do you think I should do? Take a restraining order out against Freddy?
Do you feel unsafe? Are you afraid that he might track you down and force you to move back in with him?
Not really. He might be a jerk, but he has the decency to leave me alone when I don't want him around.
If you don't mind me asking, what kind of things did he do to make you feel worthless?
Well, for starters, he would always make me write his column for him.
Column?
He writes for Forbes.
Are you aware that you could have him arrested for plagiarism?
I should have been a little clearer. He never took my words verbatim. He'd take the rough drafts I'd write and paraphrase them into his own words.
He could have come up with the original idea himself. You always had to lay the groundwork.
Yep.
How did he even get the job in the first place if he can't come up with a simple column on his own?
His father is a prominent businessman. Freddy basically gets everything he wants just by flashing around his name.
That's disgusting. I can't believe that's the kind of guy you can't pull yourself away from.
Neither can I. He's not even that attractive. I honestly don't understand what's wrong with me.
Carrie collapses on the couch.
There's nothing wrong with you. Sometimes people make decisions that they just don't understand.
I know, but I'm not that type of person.
You know what you need?
6 months in a mental health clinic?
No. You need to get out of California.
Explain your reasoning.
It's simple. Fred lives in LA, correct?
Yes?
And you live practically right next door.
Uh-huh.
So as long as you're in the general area that Freddy's in, you're going to be more likely to go back to him. However, if you move far away, without telling him, you'll be more likely to establish a life of your own.
You're a lot smarter than you look.
Thanks. I think.
But I couldn't do that. I can't just leave this area. I understand what you're saying, and it makes perfect sense, but I couldn't leave my family behind.
Sometimes you have to make sacrifices.
I'm not leaving my mom and my sisters. They're all I have.
I'm just putting out the option. You can do whatever the hell you want.
Oh, why is life so complicated?
Because if it were easy, there'd be no point in living it.
Have you ever considered becoming a philosopher?
Too much work. I'd rather spend my days reciting someone else's words as if they were my own.
You're a lot smarter than I thought you'd be.
That's a compliment, right? I'm not sure with the way you phrase things sometimes. imagine me to be?
Well, I didn't remember you that well. I remembered you came with Regan and your parents to help move her into our dorm, but I didn't remember much else. From the way Regan's talked about you over the years, I thought you were a huge idiot with no future and no prospects. But after talking to you, just now I'm starting to realize that her words were probably filtered by the sibling angst you have towards each other.
Carrie moves closer to Jason,
Tell me, what kind of music do you like?
80s hair metal.
carefully inching away from Jason.
You mean you like those really annoying power ballads fueled by drum machines and awkward bass lines?
Yeah. You got a problem with that?
Still inching away.
No! Except that's like what my mom listens to.
What's wrong about that? Why can't I have the same musical taste as your mother?
There's nothing wrong with it, it's just that I've never met anyone outside of my mother's generation that's found that genre of music appealing.
Okay, Miss High and Mighty Music Know-It-All. What kind of music do you like?
Indie alternative rock kind of stuff?
That is the vaguest description I have ever heard.
I don't know how to describe what I listen to.
I love this. The writer's having trouble describing something.
Don't be a jerk, okay? Some things are beyond words.
Is that so? Bet you could describe this TV remote in 100 words or more.
Whoa. Are you trying to compare describing the complexities of a genre of music with a simple-ass fucking remote?
If you can describe a simple object, you can describe anything.
You don't know how wrong you are. You don't even know the first thing about writing.
Yes, I do.
Okay. I'll sit back and let the cat food commercial actor tell me about being a writer.
Well,
I'm waiting.
you think of ideas, and then you write them down.
Wow. All that insightfulness that you just had 10 minutes ago is gone.
It was less than 10 minutes.
That part is irrelevant.
Are you feeling okay? You seem a little tense all of a sudden.
Nothing. Just a little tired. Didn't sleep well last night.
You could go lie down if you want. Reagan's out of the room, so he won't be interrupted.
Thanks for the suggestion, but I need to get some writing done. I'm this close to finishing this scene.
You're working on a novel?
Not exactly. It's the first season of a TV show. I've been writing it off and on for the last 6 years. I always thought that poetry would be my forte, but when I got into college, I realized that I really enjoyed writing longer types of pieces.
That's cool. What's it about?
I wrote it during a time in which I was feeling ashamed of my love of horror. It might not seem like such a big deal, but as you get further into the genre, you'll realize that people have very intense and highly inaccurate assumptions of what we're like.
What do you mean?
There are several stereotypes regarding horror fans that I've encountered. One being that we're all weird goth people who live in rooms that are painted pitch black and sleep in coffins. Another is that we all shop at Hot Topic and have 50 million piercings each. Parts of those stereotypes might hold true for some, but there are more layers to horror fans than meets the eye. We're complex human beings just like everyone else. We still think and feel and bleed like any other person. The only difference is we think it's cool when the blood drips down our arms.
I think you may be onto something.
Freshman year of college, I tried to start a horror appreciation club on campus. Eventually, I got it off the ground, but at first, I was met with a lot of strong opposition from my fellow students. They didn't understand why there needed to be a club dedicated solely to horror movies. They didn't get that there are multiple subgenres within horror. They didn't understand that not all horror fans listen to death metal, and most of them are not covered head to toe in ink. And most importantly, they didn't understand me. Since I felt so alone and isolated by the one aspect of pop culture where I felt like I could belong and express myself, I decided that the only way to change people's opinion of me was to write about it. I decided that instead of whining away my frustration, I'd use this opportunity to educate others about the truth regarding lovers of horror. And since the majority of the population is won over by comedy, I decided to put these teachings into the format of a sitcom.
Cool. What's it called?
Terror Heart.
Attempting to stifle a laugh.
That's a really cheesy title.
It's for a sitcom. What else would you expect?
Something that doesn't sound like a soap opera.
Perhaps before I try to get it off the ground, I'll change the title.
It might be in your best interest. No one's gonna tune into a show called Terror Heart. It sounds like a bad 80s possession flick.
Okay, what title would you give it?
I don't know. I haven't even read the thing yet.
Come on, just give it a shot.
Horror Life.
It's a little too minimalist for my style, but still not a bad idea.
See? Maybe I do know something about writing after all.
Like one of my professors used to say, everyone, if he or she applies themselves accordingly, can become a half-decent writer. But but it is those who worship the craft above all else, those who couldn't imagine themselves doing anything else other than writing, who love to create worlds and images, who love stumbling upon a great metaphor or a witty line of dialogue. These brave men and women are the real writers and those who will bring this medium into the next century.
How did you remember a long quote like that?
I copied it down every day into my notebook. He wrote it once on one of my papers. I found it to be so inspiring that I made sure I'd never forget it. It's one of those quotes that keeps me involved in writing.
Did you think that maybe he was trying to dissuade you from pursuing a writing career?
Perhaps, but at the time, I didn't care whether or not my professors liked my work. I cared about discovering as much as I could. Whenever I worked on something, I very rarely had a plan. I just started with whatever scenario or sentence came to my mind and ran with it. I let the characters take me on a journey. I let them guide me through whichever moments they wished.
Carrie and Jason sit on the couch, unsure about what to talk about next.
So, favorite non-horror movie?
Fast and Furious. You?
Dirty Dancing.
You don't strike me as the romantic movie type.
My mom made me watch it when I was younger. It's really addicting.
You know, I was just thinking,
What?
we should go out.
Really?
Yeah, why not?
You didn't seem interested at first.
I was playing it cool, it's a guy thing. You probably don't understand.
I beg to differ, but I understand what you're trying to say.
So, do you have an answer?
Moving closer to Jason,
What do you think?
Regan enters carrying 2 large bags of food.
Sorry it took so long. They were unloading some deliveries that arrived earlier, so I had to wait for the cashiers to finish helping the stock boys.
Noticing Carrie and Jason staring into each other's eyes.
Is everything okay in here?
Noticing Regan breaking away from Jason.
Yeah, everything's fine. We've just been sitting here talking.
Huh? Anything I should know about?
Sitting back down on the couch, picking up the remote.
Nope, nothing happened.
Right. I'm just gonna put your Red Bull in the fridge and then I'll head out to my Pilates class. Call my cell if anything happens.
Will do.
I'll be around to hang out later, Jason.
I'm looking forward to it. Until then, I'm sure Carrie can keep me company.
Looks like she's already been doing a great job. Well, I guess I'll see you two later.
See ya.
Yeah.
Regan exits.
I'm gonna go get some writing done. I'll be in my room if you want to talk some more.
Sounds good to me.
Carrie begins to walk toward her bedroom.
Meet me at Red's, Saturday, 8 o'clock.
I'll be there.
They share a laugh. Carrie exits. Blackout. A Guy by Lady Gaga is heard playing. Lights up on Regan's dancing around the living room. A knock is heard off stage.
It's open!
Freddy enters carrying a bouquet of flowers, hiding the flowers behind his back.
Is Carrie here?
Looking up from her dancing, she grabs the remote and turns off the stereo system.
Freddy, what are you doing here? And more importantly, how did you find out where I live?
You had your address posted on your Facebook profile. You know you should really make that thing private for your own safety.
That's what everyone keeps telling me. But I've had that address posted on my profile since I've moved into this apartment, and so far everything's been okay.
You're aware that someone you haven't talked to in roughly 3 years is standing in your living room after finding your address on Facebook, right?
Yeah, I know.
You haven't changed a bit, Regan.
Well, thank you. So why did you come over?
I came by to see Carrie. I called her home phone, but her mom said that she moved in with you.
Ah, she's on a date right now.
A date? That was fast. Where? With who?
Realizing all she's let slip.
I don't know. She didn't tell me where she was going.
You expect me to believe that your roommate didn't tell you where she was going or who she was going out with?
Hey, Carrie is a respectable, almost 25-year-old woman. She's highly capable of taking care of herself. I don't need to know where she is every second of every day. I trust her to not get into any trouble.
You know, Regan, you never were the best liar.
That may be true, but I can honestly say that Carrie gave me a very vague description of where she was going tonight.
Carrie's not one to be vague or subtle.
Stepping closer to Regan.
You sure she didn't drop any hints as to where she might be going or who she was taking her out?
No, I told you. I know nothing.
Did this guy pick her up or did she meet him at the restaurant?
I think he came to get her here. What does it matter anyway?
Did he come to the door?
I don't know.
You've been home this whole time, haven't you? You have to have gotten a glimpse of his car at least.
What if I did? Are you going to go searching the entirety of Southern California for her?
No, I just comb out through LA, Anaheim, and Pasadena. Carrie's not one for traveling too far.
She doesn't want to see you. She left the apartment. She moved all her stuff here. It's not going to work this time, Freddy. She's done with you.
I've been hearing that line since sophomore year. Carrie Wallace pretends to be this independent, free-thinking, neo-feminist, but she's not. She loves me, and as soon as she sees me, she'll fall back into my arms just like she has every other time she's been done.
Freddy turns to leave again, grabbing Freddy's arm.
Please, don't do this. I made a mistake 6 years ago. I shouldn't have fixed you guys up. Carrie's a smart, talented person. She deserves someone better than you.
The only girl I've ever met that's been able to put up with me is Carrie Wallace.
Getting up.
Don't you think it's possible that although you're still stuck in the same behavioral pattern that you were 6 years ago, that perhaps Carrie's grown up a little? It's possible that she's a bit more mature than she was at 18.
I find that hard to believe. We've only been broken up for a little over a month, and just 2 days before she had her big epiphany, she dutifully writing my Forbes column for me like she's been doing for the last 2 years. I know you two have been on again, off again friends since college, and you think you know her best, but living with someone opens up a whole new realm of knowledge you never knew existed. When you really get to know Carrie, like I have, you discover she's just a fake like every other California bimbo.
Regan runs over to Freddy and slaps him, realizing what she's done.
I didn't mean to do that.
Don't apologize. I've been hit by women before. I still want to try to win her back.
Why?
She still has to want me in her life.
With you, it's like 3 steps forward and 8 million steps back. Like, do I have to inscribe these words on the inside of your brain? She doesn't love you. She was only with you because she couldn't break away from the psycho hold you placed on her. She just felt herself drawn to you. She's finally broken away from you. She's happy. Now, if you could please leave my apartment so I could get back to my jazzercise, that'd be really great.
Why are you even defending her?
I know that Carrie's only here as a last resort and that she only pretends to be friends with me because she's afraid to hurt my feelings. I also know that us living together is a bad idea and that she'll probably end up murdering me if she doesn't find a new place soon. I don't care about any of that. Even though we're nothing alike, Carrie's the only person I've ever met who hasn't ostracized me for being myself. Yeah, she judges my actions from time to time and makes snide comments, but she never considered telling me to stop loving what I love. Just like I'd never tell her to stop writing or to stop listening to obscure indie bands or to stop loving horror movies. That's who she is. That's what defines her. Interest in music and movies and clothes are the types of things that make people who they are. The more we embrace these obsessions and allow them to color our lives, the better we'll all be.
Carrie and Jason enter unnoticed by Regan and Freddy, walking into the living room.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
How much of that did you hear?
Enough.
Looking at Freddy.
Hello, Mr. Gideon.
Why so formal?
Because the other term I was thinking of using is a little, shall we say, not safe for work.
Running back to the couch, picking up the bouquet of flowers.
I got you these.
Save them for somebody else, Freddy.
Come on, Carrie. We all know this is an act.
You know, I used to do theater in high school. I stopped when I got to college because I sucked. I've never been one for lying.
Carrie moves closer to Freddy.
I just had the most incredible date I've ever been on. Do you want to know why it was so enthralling?
Sure. Why not? Please tell me how this
Carefully examining Jason.
toothpick has rocked your world in just one night.
Well, we haven't gotten to the world-rocking part yet, but our date tonight was successful because he actually listened to me.
Carrie, you're smarter than that. You know why guys listen to women they go out with.
Yes, I do, but at least he attempted to feign an interest.
Stepping further into the living room.
I actually was kind of interested in what you had to say.
Oh, that's nice. Everything was always about you.
Not at first.
I'm not counting Berkeley. Do you know how many other guys I saw during those years in addition to you?
What, 3?
Whatever. Look, the point is, we're done. For good. I'm not going to be a flake anymore. I'm going to own up to my words. I packed up my shit, I gave notice to the leasing office, and I returned every City Drive CD I ever borrowed from you.
They only have 1 CD.
It's over. I live here now. Please go get another tiny, attractive, highly articulate woman to write your columns for you.
Damn! You want some ice for that burn?
Regan.
Yeah?
Could you put a muzzle on it, please?
How about I just excuse myself till you're all done?
Even better.
Regan exits. As she slowly leaves the room, she She makes sure to give Freddy an evil glare.
Please leave this apartment now.
You're actually serious. Am I in the Twilight Zone or something?
You wish it was a Twilight Zone.
Extending his hand.
I don't believe we've been properly introduced. Freddy Gideon.
Ignoring Freddy's hand.
Jason King.
Are you two together now or something?
I don't know, we just had one date. He was about to drop me off and split until we saw your shitty piece of German engineering parked in the driveway.
You used to love that Mercedes.
No, I used to love the person who drove it. This is hard for me, okay? However, you stole my words for 2 years. Do you know that I could come forward with all of those documents proving that I helped write every column you've done since you were hired? I saved every last copy.
What are you waiting for then? Expose me.
That's just the problem. I can't bring myself to hurt you. Do you realize how difficult it was leaving you? As I was packing, I must have stopped 20 times.
I still care about you.
No, you don't. Look, I'm not going to stand here and let you have it all night. I'm not one of those girls. I'm going to bed, and when I wake up in the morning, I hope that I don't see you sprawled out on the couch or sleeping under the kitchen table. I had a really great time. You have my number. Call me if you wish. Good night, gentlemen.
Carrie exits. Jason and Freddy stare awkwardly at each other.
What are you waiting for? Didn't you hear her? She asked you to leave.
You first.
I don't have to go anywhere. If Carrie finds me here in the morning, she'd probably find that bitch stalkerish and creepy, but she wouldn't be as pissed if she found you standing in the same spot holding that bouquet of cheap gas station flowers.
Excuse me, sir. I got these flowers from a private grower who just so happens to be one of the most prized florists in California.
By whose judgment? Stevie Wonder's?
Look, if Carrie really wanted to go, she wouldn't have moved in with me in the first place.
Are you stupid? Like, has your IQ been tested ever?
Mr. King, I graduated top of my class from Berkeley's graduate business program.
So you're good with numbers and abstract financial concepts. Doesn't mean you're smart.
Why doesn't anyone in this goddamn apartment get that Carrie is just as easily manipulated as any other woman?
Dumb and misogynistic. Great combo.
I'm mixing up my words. I'm so riled up I don't know what I'm saying.
You seem pretty calm to me.
I'm excellent at concealing my anger.
Dude, just leave. I don't know what's so hard to see about the situation. It's almost painful to watch. If this were a TV show, the audience would have turned their sets off like 10 minutes ago.
I know I'm redundant. Why do you think I had Carrie write my columns for me?
I thought that was because you were unimaginative.
That too.
Since I don't think you have the intelligence capacity to leave on your own, I'm gonna wait here until your puny brain finally gets the hint.
Then you'll be waiting all night.
Doesn't matter to me. I have no one to go home to.
No roommates,
Nope, live in a studio by myself.
no pets.
Fuck!
Cat or dog?
Dog.
You've been out all night. Fido's gonna need to be walked.
His name is Cujo.
How ridiculous.
I will spend the next 6 months retraining him not to crap on my floor if it means that you'll leave Carrie alone.
You don't know what you signed up for.
I think I do.
Regan enters in her pajamas. She observes Jason and Freddy having a Mexican standoff.
Why are you guys still here?
Without breaking eye contact with Freddy,
This jerk is refusing to leave the apartment, so I'm staying here until he finally gives up.
You boys have fun with that.
Oh, we will.
Regan exits, shaking her head.
You're fidgeting.
I get muscle spasms. Doesn't mean I'm breaking.
I think you are.
I think I'm not.
I think you're too much of a twig to put up with standing still any longer.
Call me that one more time.
And what are you gonna do about it, twig?
Jason lunges at Freddy. The two men wrestle on the floor for a few beats. Carrie enters dressed in her robe. Noticing Jason and Freddy wrestling,
The actual fuck!
running to break them up.
Guys! Guys!
Struggling to pull Freddy and Jason apart.
Guys, stop this!
Upon noticing Carrie's presence, Freddy and Jason finally separate. They both stand up, trying to pretend like nothing happened.
We were
The
just...
two of you were just leaving.
Jason gives Carrie a sympathetic look.
I'm not mad at you. I may be yelling, but that doesn't mean I'm mad. I understand what you were trying to do. I appreciate it.
So,
I'm just pissed that it had to come to something like this.
Walking closer to Carrie.
so I'll call you.
Sounds good to me.
To Freddy.
Later, douche.
my quest to rest for the time being.
Moving closer to Carrie.
You say that now.
Go!
Keep the flowers.
Freddy exits. Carrie picks up the remnants of the flower bouquet from the living room floor. She walks up to the kitchen sink and proceeds to shove the bouquet down the drain. She turns on the garbage disposal. Blackout.
All right, free frick, everybody.